Stay there. A bit right to left at the end. Par for Crow. Excellent. Really well played hole. On the green, 2 good putts. Partner delighted. So that puts them in a very strong position. His partner produced this wallop, which was flying pretty straight and true. 3 putts and they're through. This is what he did. He left it short, he read it well. Left to right, right to left at the end, had all that figured out. Doesn't have to do much now, just take it nice and steady. Drop it in the front door. Still good enough. So now the final has been established. It's Lavers and G versus Sutter and Crow. After the break.
The perfect gentleman's playground. The perfect gentleman's playground.
Welcome back to the Buckinghamshire for the Trilby Twos, and it's the final. Played over 2 holes in aggregate format, the 17th and the 18th. The 17th, a risk-reward par 4. You either play safe down the right or you have a go across the water. It's Sutter and Crow versus Lavers and G. Hard to pick a winner or a favourite, but maybe Lavers and G just edge it because Barry Lavers is very au fait with the Buckinghamshire, and that might be enough to tip the scales in his favour.
Well, it went right on 2 holes. I think I came in once on the front 9 and once on the back 9, but my good partner here played out of his skin today. Fair play to the ball. It was amazing to watch him. He struck the ball so purely, and it was a pleasure to play with him, and a cracking bloke as well. And thankfully we came in with a very nice score.
It was just banter from the start really, so we started the day off well and just carried it on from there. The golf was good. It was just fun altogether.
Yeah, we left a few out there. We've only had 48, 6 clear of the field. Looking to do a bit of damage in the playoff now.
We started from the first birdie, and off we went from there. It was good, solid, played well together.
Had a bad spell round the turn, birdie. So other than that, it's been pretty solid. Oh no, sorry, birdie.
Yeah.
Other than that, bad.
Yeah, other than that.
Looking forward to the playoff.
Stuart G. Iron for safety down the right-hand side. It's not on the fairway. Oh, it is now. It's perfect. Here's a second, just a wedge over the water. And this one, peeling off the left-hand side. He can chip this or putt it. He's going to putt this. William in shot. Never scared of a camera. Up and over the hill. And look at the speed of this. That's a wonderful approach putt. Should be good enough for a par 4, and it is. Well played, Stuart. So that's playing the hole the sensible way. Well, let's see how one of his opponents got on. George Crow going for it with a wood. Gave it a rip. Don't go in the water, whatever you do. Well, it hasn't. It's too far left. It's in the woods in there somewhere. But he found it, and he's going to have a smash at this. Don't think that's come out. And now a penalty drop. It's all turning very ugly. 4th shot. And he had a fair idea what he's trying to do. If that stays on the green, he's done awfully well. And he has. This for a bogey, for whom the bells toll. It's a double bogey 6 for George Crowe, but only if this goes in. So it was risk, reward. Was it worth the risk? We shall see. Double bogey. Ugly. Well, if you thought George Crowe was a little bit suspect, you've seen nothing yet. The other two were so bad, it's going to be a new Rogues Gallery special on the Trilby Tour. So for that, we need the voice of Mac.
Well, thanks for that, Rob. I'll take your hospital pass and run with it for a wee while, but where to start? After George and Stuart played the first playoff hole in a relatively straightforward manner, their partners decided to go crazy with a capital K. Barry thought he'd go over the lake and ended up in it. Ricky played what could be considered a more sensible shot. He was still going over the lake, but this time into the woods. A quick rearrangement of feet and his provisional at least made it over the lake. Then over the green and into a bunker. Barry's drop was a tad understruck and ended up, well, where else? Into the lake again. And while the stewards gamely looked for Ricky's first tee shot amongst the holly bushes, Barry took his second drop, this time flying easily over the water and into the woods. And just in case that one couldn't be found, he played a provisional, which also made it over the lake and into a different part of the woods. Now, while the ball hunt continued, Ricky was given permission to play his provisional from the bunker, straight through the legs of our cameraman's tripod, and off into the woods. Barry, meanwhile, had located his ball in the ivy and played it out of the woods into, yes, you guessed it, the lake. He managed to fish it out, and after another drop, finally hit his approach to the green onto the green. Hooray! After a drop, Ricky's sixth shot ended up, well, a few feet further towards the green. And his seventh finally saw him within sight of the hole. As the amused and bemused crowd looked on and day turned rapidly into night, Barry played his ninth shot a bit closer to the hole. And finally, after 10 shots, sank this. Well, no, he still needed another one actually, but well done, Barry. A magnificent, if totally ludicrous, 11 shots. But what did Ricky do? Well, his 8th shot saw him get close to the hole. And then the next one actually went in. So, just the 9 there for Mr. Sutter. Now, back to Rob in the real world, where underwater tree golf doesn't exist.
Thanks very much, Mac. That's taken us to places we've never been before. +7 the pair. Let's just forget their +7. Ignore all that. It's all about the par 3 18th as the light begins to fade. Barry Lavers. That's way left. That's way left. And that is not a small tree between him and the flag. Stuart G. He kept his head down very nicely there, didn't he? Kept it nice and still, turned around his spine and right into the heart of the green. Lovely tee shot. Ricky Sutter. We've got plenty of practice on the previous hole, that has to be said. On the bottom tier, but putting. George Crowe, last to go. They're all saying shot, but I'm not sure they can see the flag back there on the tee. It's so dark. So 3 very equidistant approaches, and Barry Lavers a little bit off piece down the left wing. And it will be decided here. Aggregate, remember, both scores added together against the opposition. Lavers with his second. And he bunts that through the gap underneath the trees onto the green, and that's not impossible. He could hold that for a par. Crowe's birdie putt, 45 feet or so. Superb try. Very difficult with the light fading to get a long putt absolutely stone dead. G will have watched that very carefully. Very similar. Up the hill. Needs to hurry. Go, go, go. A worried looking Stuart G. Now, Ricky Sutter. He's got previous from here. Oh, he's done it again. He held it back in 2011. Looked like he was going to win the championship of Buckinghamshire. He saved the best till last. An amazing two. And that is that. We have the winner of the Trilby Twos, George Crowe and Ricky Sutter, after that brilliant two at the final hole.
Just 3 shows left of this year's schedule, and next up, it's the final, more of which later. And after the final, we have the match play singles and pairs events from Rockcliffe Hall. Right now, though, let's have a word with the delighted twos winners, Ricky Sutter and George Crowe.
Ricky, talk us through that first hole.
Well, we had kind of a game plan which backfired massively. You know, we played it in regulation and we both went for it, and both hit pretty good tee-shots, so we felt comfortable when going for the green. Sadly, it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
That was still the plan. When you saw Barry go into the water, you thought, yeah, we're still going to go for it. We're not even going to lay up safe.
Listen, well, I'll play my golf the hard way or no way. You know what I mean? So there's no playing safe with me.
That's it. Yeah, we both played the 18th well all day in regulation and in the playoff as well. So we felt confident. We hit 2 great tee shots off the 18th. So, and we just lucky Ricky nailed the putt. It was just superb. So.
As this is a pairs competition, and because we really couldn't decide on a single winner, we're awarding 2 shots of the day this week. First one goes to high-scoring, playoff-losing Barry Lavers for this near hole-in-one on the 12th. Oh! Hope this is some consolation, Bazza. Everybody else seems to think so. Equally amazing was Ricky Sutter's extraordinary long putt to win the competition. A great shot to sink at any time, but with only moonlight to guide him, even more exceptional. That was some shot. Let's see who's hanging in the gallery this week. Now, we'd love to name and shame this bush baby on the 15th, but try as we might, we simply can't work out who it is. We just know he better like the bushes because he's going straight back into them. Now, Nick Thomas was the first person to tee off early this morning, which might explain why he was so tired by the 7th. He simply didn't have the strength to keep his shot out of the trees. And the 18th seemed to cause problems for a lot of people, and this is Kurt Homewood during the nearest the pin shootout, under the impression the pin is actually up a tree. Mario Vignali plays at the Nottinghamshire, but looks like he'd be more at home in the desert. Ricky Sutter proving that even winners aren't immune to playing duff shots. Play it again, Rick. Philip Shaw decides to round off his day by heading for a cooling dip in the river. Sadly, his plan is foiled at the last second by the intervention of a tree. Now, we've no idea why David Mitchell is playing his first shot on the 6th from behind the tee box, but we do know 2 things. He didn't hit it far enough, and that hat, it's at least 3 sizes too big for him. Finally, here is Alex Black in the bunker on the 12th, realising that if you can't beat them, you just pick up your ball and stomp off in the huff. Let's have a moonlit word from William.
Firstly, what extraordinary playoff we've just had.
From fast to fabulous. Just unbelievable. I mean, we're in the bushes, we're in the water, we're back in the bushes. What I'm thinking, what's going on? These are good players, but that's what the Trilby taught us, they're good players. The pressure's on, they've got 8 cameras on them, and they fell to bits. Barry Lavers, good player. Stuart G, good player. And we know about Ricky Sutter and George Crowe. George Crowe we've seen grow from a boy to a man. Wow, blimey, I don't know what to say about that. And I mean, Ricky Sutter, that was the exact same putt he holed a few years ago to force that playoff, and just, oh, what a putt. When I heard it was, when I heard going, I was like, what? Bang, in that hole. I mean, Barry Lavers is a tough guy, but he's chin dimple when that went in.
So, congratulations again to Ricky and George, but hey, boys, come on, get a room. Next week, the champions assemble. Richard Chisholm from Lancashire, Paul Rogers from Yorkshire, Richard Ackland from Cornwall, Aaron Studdart from Wales, Ben Rosenbrook from Nottinghamshire, Paul York from Hertfordshire, Chris Crowe from Norfolk, and Simon Hudd from Kent. head with 100 other qualifiers to Rockcliffe Hall in Durham. After 3 months and 8 events, we're only one more game of golf away from discovering who can hold their nerve, who's made of the right stuff, and who will take the crown Trilby Tour World Champion 2013. Bearing in mind that they have to take that trophy from reigning champion Carl the Power Powell, and to be honest, he doesn't seem to be that willing to give it up. Good luck getting your hands on that one, fellas. As always, you can check out the website www.williamhunttrilbytour.com to discover more about all things Trilbyan. And don't forget that the Trilby Tour is available on demand in the Sky Sports section of Catch Up. We'll see you next week at the final. Now, just stop that, you two. Oh, for goodness sake, will you stop that?
William Hunt Savile Row sponsors the Trilby Tour. The perfect gentleman's playground.